Action Comics issue 1061 heads to the magical world of Xerox, where 15 minutes ago, Bizarro smashed his way into the magical citadels of the planet. Bizarro has no idea why he is there, but at some point before, a single coherent thought let itself loose in his head and he acted on it. He remembers Lois and Bizarro and the whole world of people like him, trying to remember why he needs to keep thinking about them. He bursts into laughter as he can't remember why he is there now, confusing the sorcerers who notice that he's the Bizarro from Earth 29, the planet known as Bizarro World. They are confused as to why they think any Master Sorcerer would come from Earth 29, but one of the sorcerers know that he isn't a Master Sorcerer, he's just punching things. They don't know why Bizarro is there, and despite his extreme resistance to magic, they are Master Spellcasters, and with their combined powers, they will banish him. The War Wizards of Xerox get ready as Bizarro smashes his way into their citadel, remembering that he is there because Superman hates magic. The mages blast him with their power, but Bizarro resists it, taking in the power himself, finding that it tickles. 6 weeks later, Superman flies through Metropolis, hearing the city come to life in the morning and everything that comes with it, from a car accident on 258th Street to a woman passing away in suicide slums before he can do anything to prevent it. However, he still feels he should drop by and lend a hand. Before he can though, he gets a message from Star Labs, which alerts him to Bizarro coming in from deep space, and he needs to respond immediately. As he hears Lois lament about how she wants the Man of Steel to marry her all over again, Superman heads into the sky to meet Bizarro, finding his opposite doppelganger sounds different, less manic and more focused. Unsettled by it all, Superman asks if he remembers who he is and how in the past they have been allies. He wonders if something has happened on Bizarro World and if his son Bizarro returned home, but whatever it is, he would like to help him. Superman speaks to him in his language of opposites, telling him that he came there to fight. Bizarro surprisingly speaks very eloquently, knowing that Superman thinks that he's dumb, but the hero doesn't know anything. Bizarro smashes Superman into the sky, and moments later, Superman crashes onto Venus. Superman is shocked about having been swatted 25 million miles away, knowing that Bizarro has never shown that level of power before. Before he can properly think about what has happened, Bizarro tackles him, sending Superman out into the solar system, before landing on Pluto, 3 billion miles away from Earth. Bizarro freezes Superman with his freeze vision and tries to goad Superman into hurting him. Superman blasts his way out of the block of ice with his heat vision and hits Bizarro with it, but the heat vision phases right through the villain as he teleports away, leaving Superman to wonder what the being has done. Bizarro returns to Metropolis, where he gathers wolfsbane petals from Quad, the elixir of the hunger dog tears from Apocalypse, the tongue of a fifth-dimensional imp, and many more arcane ingredients from across the cosmos, combining them all together to conduct a spell over Metropolis, a spell that he would never have been able to do if he wasn't visiting the Sorcerer's World, which is how he allowed himself to see all of the threads of existence, all except for a way back to his home world. Before the spell can be completed though, Superman tackles Bizarro away. An action news chopper follows the battle through the storm clouds, broadcasting it all for the city to see. People wonder which Bizarro this is, since there seems to be quite a few of them, but others don't really care, wanting to bet that Superman deals with this quickly. Lois meanwhile can tell that something is not right, but Jimmy knows that it's Bizarro. There's nothing right about him. Lois knows that it's more than that, since Bizarro is the antithesis of Superman and is incredibly powerful. She sees a flash of power, realizing that Bizarro is using magic, one of Superman's weaknesses. But Lois hopes that Clark will end this quickly, as Bizarro says that he wants the hero alive for what happens next. Superman smacks the villain away, wanting to help him fix whatever is wrong with the villain, as he laments about how he is always alone. Superman doesn't understand, since he has an entire world of Bizarro people, but Bizarro reveals that they are all gone thanks to the multiverse always changing, and his world was erased because of people like Superman. He says that he has gone crazy as the trinkets that he stole activate again, forming a magical circle amongst the storm. Bizarro tells Superman that it's too late for him to stop this, but Superman blasts the trinkets, disrupting the ritual. However, doing so sends black trendles out, which grab Superman and the nearby news chopper, causing the people to fall from it. As Bizarro beats Superman down, the hero pleads for him to use his words, but Bizarro doesn't stop, using a spell so that Superman can actually understand him properly. The villain says that he was lost and alone, searching for a way home and for someone who wants Bizarro around to give him purpose. But then he found something else as he found the Sorcerer's World. 6 weeks earlier, the War Wizards are shocked that Bizarro has absorbed their magic, which he then unleashes on them and kills them instantly with it. Superman reminds Bizarro that he is a good man, but the villain knows that Superman is a good man, while Bizarro is the opposite. Clark refuses to accept that, wanting Bizarro to prove himself by helping save the nearby news crew. Bizarro hits Superman away, making his choice and returning to the ritual site. Superman disregards Bizarro for now and rushes to save the falling news chopper, getting the reporters to safety before returning to the skies, hearing Bizarro screaming from within his own spell. The spell begins to take a toll on the hero as well, but Superman pushes through the pain the magic causes him to get to Bizarro, who falls through the portal the ritual has opened. Bizarro thinks that it's too late, but Superman doesn't think it is, grabbing the villain and pulling on him. The magic becomes too much for both of them and swallows Bizarro, closing the portal in the blink of an eye as he says goodbye to Superman. Clark relates this back to Lois later on, saying that he saw Bizarro sobbing uncontrollably as he died, but that's all he remembers. Clark can still hear Bizarro crying in his head, making Lois think that he should go and see Dr. Fate or Zatanna and get checked out by them, since he may have internal injuries he cannot comprehend. Clark knows that he will once everyone is safe, having checked with Martian Manhunter about Xerox, learning that Bizarro did indeed kill the sorcerers there and Bizarro's world really is missing, having visited the multiversal cartographers who told him that it was a casualty in one of the interdimensional upheavals. Clark believes that this might have broken Bizarro into 1,000 pieces, as below in Metropolis, the people celebrate Superman's win, with one of Bibbo's patrons, however, beginning to slur his words and talk in opposites. Bibbo asks if the man is okay, as more around the city begin to exhibit the same symptoms as Bizarro. Superman's head begins to hurt from Bizarro's cries, remembering how during the fight his speech patterns changed and he was speaking not like how he usually would normally speak, but then at the end reverted back to his normal Bizarro speech patterns, meaning that when he thought Bizarro was actually crying, he was really laughing. Lois says that she doesn't feel well, as down in the city, hundreds of people have been turned into Bizarros, wreaking havoc throughout the town, as both Superman and Lois are also infected, with Superman becoming Bizarro #1.